Namaste and good morning, students. Today we will read the poem My Mother at 66, written by Kamla Das. Now, more about Kamla Das. Kamla Das, 1934 to 2009, was born in Malabar, Kerala. She is recognized as one of the India's foremost poet. Her works are known for their originality, versatility, and the indigenous flavor of the soil. She has published many novels and short stories. She wrote under the pen name Madhavi Kuti. Theme of the poem. In this poem, the poet relates a personal experience. Through it, she brings out a common paradox of human relationship. Sometimes we do feel deep sympathy for someone, but we fail to express it in a proper manner. In the poem, My Mother at 66, poet talks about her mother. The poem is based on mother-daughter relationship. It describes the fear and the pain of the poet of losing her mother due to harsh reality of life, which is death. And now the first stanza of the poem. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, dozed, open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. Now, the meaning of this poem. It was a Friday morning. The poet was driving from her parents' home to Cochin airport. Poet's mother was sitting beside her in the car. She was then 66 years old. While going, Poet turned to look at her mother. She found that her mother was dozing and her mouth was open. Her face was as pale as that of a dead person. The poet painfully realized that her mother was not going to live long. She was looking old as she has aged. Now, the second stanza. But soon put her thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her. And now the meaning of the stanza. But soon she drove her painful thought away from her mind. She started looking at the young trees on the roadside that seems to be running fast. She saw children running out of their homes in joy. Or you can say the poet is pained and shifts her attention outside the car in order to drive out the negative feeling. She changes her sad mood. The scene outside the window is of growing life, merry children playing. And this playing children symbolizes life, youth, and vitality. The poet here is reminded of her own childhood when her mother had been young, where also now she is encircled with the fear of her, and that has made her insecure. Actually, in short, this image helps to bring out the contrast between the childhood and old age. While childhood is a period of carefree merry-making, old age is a period of death, like sadness. With children, the journey of the life begins, and with old age, the journey ends. So now the third stanza. When pale as the late winter's moon and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma," and all I did was smile and smile and smile. Now, the meaning of this stanza. After reaching the airport, the poet went through the security check. The poet again looked at her mother from distance. The mother's face was pale white. It was as white as the face of the moon in late winter or end of the winter. This can also be explained that it's in other way. You can say the moon is dull or lacks luster. So is her mother at the end stage of her life. Also, as the late winter moon gets overshadowed by the fog or mist in the sky, similarly, her mother can get overshadowed by death at any time. Both of them are nearing an end, one of season and the other is of life. And this made her recall the thing she had been most afraid of during her childhood, the fear that her mother would die one day, as she used to feel in her childhood, when some fear overpowered her. Yet she spoke no words to her mother. All that she said was, "See you soon, Amma." The only thing the poetess did was smile and smile and smile. The smile is also a positive feeling which the poet wants to express at the end of the poem. She wants to say goodbye to her mother with a smile as she is hiding her pain of separation from her mother, and one more smile to show hope to meet in future. I have some word meaning for you all students. So let's go through the word meaning. Doze, nap. Ashen, pale. Corpse, dead body. Spilling, let out. Sprinting, moving fast. When, dim, weak. Pale, dull, colorless. And now, some of the poetic device. In the lesson, My Mother at 66. First is simile. It is the comparison of two things by using as or like. Example 1. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. Second, as a late winter moon. Now the second poetic device metaphor. It is a direct comparison of two things without the use of as or like. Example, the merry children. And now the third poetic device used in the poem is personification. When we give human characteristics to animal or plants or non-living things, example, trees sprinting. And finally, the last poetic device, alliteration. It is a repetition of the consonant sound in a line of a poem. Example, first, my mother. Second, that thought. Third, see you soon. So, thank you, student.